We're getting to that time of the year, and you know exactly what time of the year it is. Yes, Christmas is coming. We are right on the verge. And then there's that final week between Christmas and New Year's, and I think it's a time where you're able to ponder a lot about your year. And quite frankly, if no one's told you this, I want to be the first. You did not waste this year. You did not waste this year. You didn't waste this annual trip around the sun. You accomplished much more than you think that you've done. Maybe your mind might not tell you that. Your mind might not make you believe that you've done so. But you've done well just by the fact that you've made it to another year. Don't let your mind trick you. Don't let your mind look at this time of the year for what it could be, maybe for what it is, but don't allow your mind to use this time of the year as a way to force any possible ideas or wrongdoings onto you personally, onto you mentally, onto you physically. Don't let your mind say, well, you said you were going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, go down the entire alphabet if you want, this year, and you didn't do any of that. Maybe it's not that you didn't do any of it. Maybe you got to about half of the things on your list. The other half didn't make its way through. Now, are you to blame for that? I think there is some blame that is involved there, and some blame where, quite frankly, might be placed on you. But don't allow yourself to focus entirely on that. Don't let your mind focus exclusively on the negative, and allow yourself to see some of the positives you got to do this year. What is something that you've done this year that you didn't set to do out once the new year officially came? There's something. There's got to be something. You might have to think about it a little bit. Don't worry. I might be here. I will be here, rather, to let you do that. But think of something that you accomplished this year that you didn't think was even possible or was even on your list to begin with. I'll go with me. I'll try to keep this quick. The sun is starting to set as I'm putting this one together, so I'm kind of in a time crunch. Not usually am, but this week I am. I watched over 200 movies this year. I never knew that I was able to watch that much cinema, I guess. Not all of it was cinema. Some of it was. But I didn't know I had the time to do that. I didn't know that I could decide at this point in my life. Again, I am a working young professional, and there are times when I have free time. I don't have to work, at least in season, for now, every single waking hour of the day. So what did I do? Well, I watched movies. I watched old movies. I watched recent movies. I watched new movies. I've gone to the theater about, I have to check, I think it's 30 times maybe? I didn't even know I could do that. I didn't even know that I had that in me. Growing up, I've had so many memories with movies. My dad would be the one that would take my sister and I to movies whenever he could. And now I'm at the age where I just go by myself. Most of the times I went to the movie theater this year by myself. By the way, that's a big jump. I didn't know it was possible to enjoy oneself by going to the movies by myself. But I did. And I think there's also a silver lining with that, because yes, I saw so many movies, and partially I did that to get out of my apartment. But with that process of forcing myself to get out of my apartment, am I, in another way, not allowing to spend quiet time with myself? Is that something that's on the possible comeuppance from this situation? And whatever you think, you probably at this point have thought of something. There's positive and there's a negative to it. You're going to grow in one area, you're You're not going to grow as much in another. That's with any decision you make in life. That's with anything you want to do. Now, in what areas, if you think you wasted this year, did you fall short in? Because there's at least one. I did not go to the gym. Really, I didn't go to the gym. I was going to the gym last year as soon as I came home from September through about February. I was hitting the gym consistently. I guess you could use both. About 4 times a week. I haven't gone to the gym since I've been back here, and I got back here in September. Now, I'm actually in the process of doing something. I'm working on a 30-day challenge, and I hope to talk about that a little bit more once I get done with it. But, physical fitness wasn't something that was my strong suit this year. I didn't focus fully on that. And I had focused for the end of 2024 and into 2025. I lost like 12 pounds and then got all the way up to 170. And by the time I came back, I had lost that all. But, that's what I did. There's something that you've done. There's something that you've fallen flat in this year. Make it a priority. And I think that's the other side of the coin, the idea of, maybe you wasted this year. Well, maybe if you think you wasted this year, newsflash, you didn't. What do you want to do next year to not find yourself in the same predicament in the future? Are you focusing on those areas where you fell flat in? Are you adding something new to your repertoire, to your life, and you're focusing on that for the considerable future? Like, are you saving money? I'm gonna be honest, I think I got some of you right there. Are you saving money? Are you saving 20% of your income? I honestly just started doing that. I had done so for the better part of 2 years, and now for me, I'm like, okay, I am gonna save. I'm gonna try and make myself much better off for the future compared to the present. I might not have as much money in the present, but in the future, I'm going to be much more thankful for the fact that I didn't have much money or as much money back then as I did now. Find out those areas for you. Write them down, too. Write them down. And while you write them down, write down the lifestyle changes. Yes, lifestyle changes. New Year's ideas, New Year's resolutions suck. They don't work. Think about how to change your lifestyle. Think about what you want to do differently compared to what you've done in the past. That's all you have to do. You don't have to wallow in your room and focus on your head like, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I didn't do that. I'm a terrible human being. Don't do that. Don't do that. Think of different areas where you can work at and get better at, that you could focus more on next year. Maybe you're on your phone a lot. You know how easy it is to take some of that time you're spent on your phone watching YouTube, and I'm a prime candidate, and shifting that elsewhere. Maybe you're focused on your career. I've been focused on my career for the better part of this entire decade. Maybe work on networking. Send out a bunch more emails. Try to make a better impression to people and applications. Maybe focus on that. Maybe you're in the process of you're looking for a job in the first place. Make sure you have the best possible resume at your disposal. Maybe reorganize your LinkedIn skills. Do that. Focus on that for next year. In some cases, maybe just post more. I mean, I'm kind of getting in the habit with this, but post more about what you're doing. Maybe don't live your life on the internet, but if you're doing something that is in your field or that you think is cool, post about it. Just do something. Do something. Do something to not put yourself in your current predicament that you might be in right now, where you think that this year didn't necessarily go your way. Maybe it didn't go your way. Not every year will go your way, quite frankly. Maybe you're in the perspective of how you've had a bad break for a while. Try to reframe. I'm not gonna like hammer you over the head with reframe your mindset. Some people do that. I'm not one of those people. Think differently about how you are as a person. Maybe you have to focus on you. Maybe you do. Maybe you have to focus on yourself individually. Maybe you don't have to be doing as many things as you need to do because you need to focus on yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. Make that a priority this year. And I think that's what it's all about. Reframe what you want your life to be. Don't make New Year's resolutions, because again, they suck. But think about where in your life you really want to focus on. What area of your life do you need work at? And once you do, hammer it home. Hammer it home. Plan everything out that you want to do to improve there. That's actually pretty important. You can't just go on a whim. Maybe finances, you can do some stuff on a whim because you don't necessarily need to call a bank. But focus on what you need to do. And yes, you maybe shouldn't share it to the world. If you want to share it to the world, go ahead. But overall, find what you need to improve at and focus. Not exclusively on those things, but reorganize your priorities. Reorganize your priorities. Put them much higher than you have in the past. You might have to put some stuff much lower, and there's nothing wrong with that again. Some of the things you need to put lower are things you don't really need to begin with. But just write them down. Write them down. Reorganize. Then implement. Make changes as you need to, because not everything's going to work on the first try. I'm quite frankly honest with you. Maybe you do something perfect the first time, and that's actually impossible. Nothing's perfect. Keep plugging away. If you find something that works, work at it. If you find something that needs work, try things differently. Try something differently every time you try something. That's actually what I'm doing with this. You know, I'm working maybe not necessarily on the air, though technically on camera, yes, I have my microphone. I'm holding it like a microphone as compared to having it clipped to my shirt. But do that. Try a different look on things. Try maybe a different tag. And this is just from posting. I could talk about posting, and one day I believe I will make an entire video series on this. You have to tweak. You have to tweak out. You have to tweak at different things in your life. You have to try something different every day. You could try different workouts. You could try different books, read. I honestly am surprised it took me this long to get to reading. But you have to try everything. You know, it's what Shakira says in Zootopia. Try everything. And in the process, when you do that, don't be surprised when this time next year you're in a much better spot. You're in a much more confident place for yourself. And you're not thinking, oh, I just wasted the year. Bonus content. Look at this handheld mic we got going on. It's the same mic I've been using. Also, I understand this comes out on Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to you and your family and everyone who watches this video. Plan is, or at least my plan, is to have one more video before 2026 officially arrives. But you'll have to wait for that. Bye now.